Hey guys, welcome to another installment of Tobi's Books, where I'm going to be reviewing the book Extreme Ownership by Jocko, Willnik and Leif Babin. Extreme Ownership is such a great book. If you're a leader out there, or if you've got people who serve under you who are also leaders, you need to purchase this book for them. So in the book, Leif Babin and Jocko Willnik talk about their experiences in Iraq Ramadi, where they were fighting against the insurgents. They're both Navy SEALs, and they detail the key principles of leadership which they experienced whilst leading their own men. Point number one is take extreme ownership for everything in your life. Similar to my book, Class Dismissed, both Jocko Willnik and Leif Babin say that in order to be a great leader, you need to take ownership, extreme ownership for everything that happens in your team. When your team fails, you need to take responsibility. How that panned out in Jocko's life is, whilst he was on an excursion, there was some friendly fire between his own men and some Iraqi soldiers who were on the same team. Immediately, his boss called him and told him shut down the operations. So he had to do it. Whilst he shut down the operation, he had to create a report for his leaders as to how this had happened. Whilst he was reviewing everything, he realized that the person who was responsible for this situation happening was actually him. It wasn't any of his men, it was him. And that freed him up to become a better leader. So point number one is take extreme ownership for everything that happens in your life. Do not lay the blame on somebody else. Place the blame on you, because only you can impact your own life. Point number two, there are no bad teams, only bad leaders. In Extreme Ownership, Jocko Willnik recalls the story of when him and his other commanders are observing a training exercise between 6 Navy SEAL leaders who also are with their teams. They have a race with their boats, and then they all come back with the winning team first and the losing team last. Now, this is the interesting thing about the story. The winning team actually has the smallest men, and the losing team had the biggest and the strongest men, which made Jocko think, what's going on? Why is this team winning and this other team losing? And the simple reason had to do with the leader. In the winning team, the leader was encouraging. He congratulated his team. He encouraged them and told them what they were doing well and how they could improve. Whilst with the losing team, the leader kept on blaming them. He actually told them, I wish I had a different team. But he didn't realize the team which won actually had the smallest men, whilst his team had the biggest and the strongest men. The issue was not about the team, the issue was actually the leader. At a certain point, Jocko decides to swap the leaders so that the winning team, their leader goes to the weakest team or the losing team, whilst the team which was losing, their leader actually goes to the winning team. You will not believe what happened. The team which was in 6th place started coming second in all the different exercise that took place. Whilst the team which won, they still kept on winning. However, their performance got worse or slowed down a bit. What does that tell us? It's not actually about the team. It's actually about the leader and the environment the leader creates in order to help those succeed. So point number two is that there are no bad teams, only bad leaders. Point number three is called belief. But under that, put in subtitles. Don't tell people what to do, tell them why they should do it. In his book, Extreme Ownership, Jocko Willnik talks about a situation where his commander tells him that the Iraqi soldiers need to fight side by side with his Navy SEALs. He decides to go and retell this to his Navy SEALs. And lo and behold, there's an eruption in the meeting. They refuse. They say they don't want to fight with the Iraqi soldiers. They're untrained. They're undisciplined. But he explains to them why they needed to fight with the Iraqi soldiers, and it was really simple. If they don't fight with the Iraqi soldiers, they are likely to stay in Iraq longer. However, if they fight with the Iraqi soldiers, they can train them and they will be ready to take over the country once the Navy SEALs leave. In my life, I've also had situations like this. I remember in one school where I worked, I had a leadership position. And too often, we were told to tell the staff members to do this and that. However, now looking back on it, there was a problem with it. I didn't tell them why they had to do it. And all that simply did is that people did not buy in to the new programs or the new systems. So if you run an organization or company, it's not good enough to tell people what to do. You need to tell them why they should do it, because when they know the why, they will buy into what you've told them to do. But if they don't know the why behind it, then they will not buy into it. So the simple reason for telling them why is the buy-in. So don't tell people what to do. Tell them why they should do it so that they can buy into what the organization is trying to do. I want to encourage you, the viewers, to go and purchase this book, Extreme Ownership, or get it on Audible. One of the things I really like about this book is that Jocko Willnik would tell a story from his time in Iraq, then he will explain what the principle is, then he will apply it to business. And that's why I put it under the business section. For any business or organization to succeed, we need to develop leadership skills and leadership principles. No organization can ever go any further than the leader themselves. So I want to encourage you to take your leadership to the next level and purchase the book Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willnik and Leif Babin. Guys, thank you for joining me on another installment of Tobi's Books. I hope you enjoyed the principles by Jocko Willnik and Leif Babin on Extreme Ownership. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Also share this information with leaders in different organizations, because it will challenge them and help them take their organization to the next level. I'll see you next week, where I'll be reviewing the book, The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team.